Hello and welcome to today's episode of Filling the Gap, your one-stop shop for Pacers Gap Year coverage. I'm your host, Andrew Schreiner. Today, after a hiatus, we are back breaking down not one, but two Pacers wins over the weekend, Friday night and then Monday night, bracketing the weekend, I guess, against the Bulls and Kings. My apologies. As I mentioned in the last episode, I was out of town over the weekend, not able to get up one after the Bulls win, and so then I thought I'd just wait till after the Sacramento game as well and do 2-in-1, and two good ones, and actually two good ones to pair up. There were a lot of similarities between the two games. So in both, the Pacers started just a little bit slow, but then by the end of the first half had commanding leads that they were able to stretch in the early part of the third quarter. But then both nights, the opposing team, first the Bulls and then the Kings, made strong pushes at the end of the third quarter. The Kings actually continued it on and took a lead, a 7-point lead, in the fourth quarter after having been down 19 in the early parts of the third. The Bulls never took a lead, but they did make it close before, in both games, the Pacers starters took over late and managed to see out what ended up being fairly comfortable wins, at least in the final few minutes. So two good wins for the Pacers to build on. These are teams that you expected to be better than. By record, you're not necessarily, although they are better than the Kings now, but teams that going into the season, even without Halliburton and losing Miles Turner, you thought that the Pacers would be better than the Bulls, would be better than the Kings, especially a Kings team missing Domantas Sabonis to injury. And they showed themselves to be that. I think the Pacers are starting to look like what we expected, which is a league average team. What I expected, at least. They're getting some meaningful contributions against the Kings. Mathurin, Nembhard, and Siakam all combined really beautifully on offense and had over 70 points combined. Each of them had over 20. And Nembhard had a season high in assists, making some good passes to Mathurin and Siakam, who were able to finish shots. Since it's been a little bit since the Bulls game and even the Kings game now, I'm not going to go into too much detail of the play-by-play. Just wanted to share some overall takeaways, and one in particular was the play. One that really stood out was the play of Ethan Thompson. So he played over the weekend his third and fourth NBA games of his career. Now, he's been a pro this is his sixth season. He played 5 years in the G League and was scoring over 20 points per game in the G League before the Pacers signed him to a two-way contract. They replaced Ray J. Dennis with him as one of their two-way players. And you have to love the story. A guy who's stayed diligent, kept fighting for his dream. Now he gets a chance, and he has backed it up. His first two games, he was playing kind of garbage time minutes in games that were already decided. But in game 3, he came in, his third game, the game against the Chicago Bulls, he came in and he scored 11 huge points off the bench, making 3 threes to help the Pacers extend that early lead. And then he played so well, he ended up starting on Monday against the Sacramento Kings because Ben Shepherd is dealing with his calf injury. Ethan Thompson slotted into the starting lineup. And he didn't deliver as much statistically. He did not match his 11-point outing from Friday night. But if you watched the game, he was playing down the stretch. Rick clearly trusts him already. And he made some huge hustle plays to give the Pacers second and even third chance opportunities that, even though he may not have been credited with an offensive rebound, he's getting tip outs. He did have one big defensive rebound and played some great defense as well that allowed the Pacers scorers to stretch the lead back out and see out a win. And so it was a really great performance from him. I think possibly his Monday, even though the stat line's a little different, his Monday performance was even better than his game against the Bulls on Friday, though you'll never be upset with points, of course. So really happy for him, and it's just a cool story to see and follow and see if maybe he can solidify carve out a niche role for himself in the NBA as a bench scorer, because that is what he did well in the G League score. And the Pacers could use that right now, especially with their injury troubles. Now, looking ahead, the Pacers have this little break. So they had the whole weekend off, Friday to Monday, and then played Monday, and now they don't play again until Friday, and they play on Sunday as well. And these are the NBA Cup games, and so these weren't scheduled at the beginning of the season. These came out after the group stage finished, and so the games going on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday have knockout round implications for the NBA Cup. The Pacers obviously were terrible in their NBA Cup games, and so that is not the case for them. The one benefit, obviously you would like to win those games and, you know, have more wins in your regular season total, but the one benefit of doing poorly in those games is that they now get more favorable matchups in these two games that have been added to the schedule because they're playing other teams who also did not do well in the NBA Cup. So that starts Friday night. They go to Philadelphia. We get our first look at the 76ers. I'm excited to see them. Tyrese Maxey's having a great season. Paul George is back now. Joel Embiid is playing Clash Royale on the bench, so there's always some good drama there. And VJ Edgecombe has looked, he's shown flashes early on as a rookie, so I'm excited to see what he looks like. I think it's a great litmus test game for the Pacers. The Sixers currently sit at the 6th seed in the East, the 6th spot, which is where I had predicted the Pacers to be before this rash of injuries and the horrendous start they had to the season. Now, I think that that's probably out of reach for the Pacers this year. Of course, mathematically it's not, but I don't see them ripping off a huge run for the rest of the season after the first 25 like they did last year. But it's possible, I guess. But even just to know where they stand as they're now playing some better basketball, can they match up with a team who's in around the same spot as they are or hoped to be this season? Then they come home with a matchup against the Wizards on Sunday. That is a game against a team you've already handled and is in the basement of the NBA, even more so than the Pacers are. That if the Pacers can win in Philly, win a close game, and then take care of business against inferior opponent, you have a 4-game win streak, you've won 6 out of 8, and you're starting to feel pretty good about yourself, even as you're still missing some key pieces who may come back along the way. Getting contribution again from Nesmith, hopefully. Quentin Jackson even just making that point guard depth a little more steady, a little more secure. Of course, top and down the road, maybe we get to see something from Cam Jones at some point. Let's hope. But I think this is a great chance for the Pacers to build some positive momentum. And this is the last thing I'll say in this episode. I do think each win still has value. I've seen a few things out there, articles, comments on, the local radio show, that the Pacers are making a mistake by winning games. And I just cannot buy into that. Maybe if it's game 82 this season and a loss in the last game will get them, better lottery odds, maybe that's a game that may be better to lose. But I truly believe that winning is a habit, that winning is a culture. And if the Pacers win this season, even, play 500 ball the rest of the season, that means their players are playing well, and the players who you're hoping to see growth from this year are showing that. Guys like Jarris Walker or Johnny Furphy, Ben Shepherd when he's healthy. Maybe Ethan Thompson does something, shows you something. And that sets you up better for next season. If those guys are playing well and playing with confidence, you're set up better for next season when Halliburton returns than taking a chance on a lottery pick. So many lottery picks do not turn out. It is not a sure bet that you're getting a future star if you're drafting number 1, number 2, number 3. And so I will take a win and a winning season, or a more winning season, and the positive momentum of that over the potential of a future star any day. And those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I also would love to know whether you would prefer a more detailed breakdown of each game, or whether you like what I've been doing recently with more just kind of overall thoughts on the team, and spending less time going through the box score and the play-by-play, because you can see that on your own. So let me know what you prefer, because obviously I want to do what you guys want to hear. And so thank you for watching today. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and I'll see you next time.